Hello friends and welcome back. I hope you've had a fabulous couple of weeks. Today it's Friday again, so let your hair down, take those glasses off, relax, and chill with me. This week I decided what I was going to do is change the shape of the off-the-shoulder romper shorts because I wanted to make more of a skirt feel to the shorts but not lose the actual shorts. You know what I mean? So I want to kind of make the shorts more flared. And I'm going to show you how I did it next. But you have to stick around. I'm Nye with Ellie and Mac. Come along, friends. This week, I'm going to be using the help of my trusty dusty iPhone up there so you can see exactly what I'm doing. All you're going to need is the bottom half of that pattern and one of the pocket pieces because you're going to actually trace the whole thing so that you know exactly where you're going with it. Okay, so what I learned is that with this pattern, you have a front, woo, and you have a back, right? Now, the way that this pattern is drawn is so that your front and your back come together at the groin, and then this is your rise, your seat rise, okay? So we can't really add to this area because unless you like seriously want to have like excess baggage in the center of your body line, the crotch area, you don't want to add anything here, okay? So what I'm going to do is take these pieces and butt them together. Now, normally this would be a seam that you would sew down if this was fabric, and then of course you would sew this and then you would sew on the other half. So this is technically half of the shorts. Now what I'm gonna do, oh my gosh, it's magic, is I'm gonna take these pieces and I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna make them a little bit more round. Okay, so what that's gonna do is gonna add fabric in here so that they'll flare out at the hip. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to add a whole lot up here because it fits me just fine here, okay? I don't need any extra. So I'm going to overlap it just a tad. Like I'm going to just overlap it just a little bit so I'm not adding a whole ton of fabric to the very top section of my shorts. Okay, now what I can do is essentially, this would be called spreading your pattern. So if you wanted to, you could essentially glue these together and they would look like straight shorts, right? Now, because these were made with a hip curve, because Ellie and Mac is like, yes, we're going to fit your curves. It doesn't go straight up and down. So we're going to just tilt these outward and trace the pattern out. Now, I am all about reusing things that are usually for other stuff. So you're going to watch me use my husband's painter's tape to tape this down to what used to be last year's Christmas paper. You already know I will reuse some wrapping paper in a heartbeat, okay? I will go out to the garage and grab some old cardboard that needs to go in the recycling bin and I will use that too. I might do that after I'm done with this if I really like how it comes out. So I'm going to go ahead and trace over. Right, like that. Right? And then I'm going to trace up here. This is going to be the front of my shorts. And trace down here. Because this isn't really going to change much right here. Okay, because this is where your groin is naturally, it's going to meet over here. Okay, now this is the part where I kind of want to make it curve together. So I got this here fancy ruler. I don't have all the things. I have been coveting a ruler like this for quite some time. And it was on sale at Joann's, I believe. And I was all over it. And my husband was like, we are not going to Joann's. And I was like, oh, yes, we are, sir. We is going. Okay. Because I need my ruler. Okay. Because it's on sale and that doesn't happen. Okay. So I'm going to use this ruler to kind of curve into my other pair of shorts or shorts area, okay? But what I don't want is, like, I really don't want to create excess length. So I'm gonna go ahead and curve that right there and just kind of gently blend it in, okay? I mean, you can freehand it too. Shoot, I'm just being fancy because I got a new thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All righty. Okay, so now we have this little curve, right? And we have our back. This is the back. Back, 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 y'all. And this is the front. Now, remember that this is only one piece, and you're gonna have to make 2 of these in order to have a front and a back, okay? So now what this is going to do, doing it this way, is going to remove the seam from the center here, right? So, and because I'm adding excess anyway, I didn't worry about the seam allowance that's here, that there's like a 3/8 inch like seam allowance right here. I'm not worried about that because I was adding excess anyway. But because I overlapped it right here, I know that I'm not worried about the seam allowance that's going to come from the waist, because this is overlapped up here, right? So that's why that's super important, because you still want to have the same waistline. And if I didn't overlap these, then I'm going to end up with excess because there's seam allowance added here that isn't anywhere else. Also, one thing you want to consider is the ease of the pattern. Now, this pattern is not made to be super duper fitted, but it's one of the more fitted rompers made by Ellie and Max. So it's a little bit easier to kind of pull it out a little. In order to make the top fit a little bit more fitted, I did this with the top. I took the top and I traced it, and instead of making a fold-in half piece, I actually made one full piece. Now, my plan is, if this actually works, then I'm gonna keep what I end up with. However, I'm gonna go ahead and make a mock-up because I don't know, I have a little bit of a sway back, and I may have to do an adjustment here on this line. A sway back essentially is when you have a really deep curve in your low back, and that's me. Hey, girl. Okay, so sometimes I have to cut here on my back patterns, the back pieces of my patterns, and sew this together so it kind of creates that curve for me. But I won't actually know where I need to do that or if I need to do that yet because I haven't sewn up the pattern. So what I'm going to do is take this exact piece and cut it out. And then I'm going to sew up a romper and see how it comes out. You want to hang around? All right, I'll see you in just a minute. One thing you don't want to forget is to mark your front and your back. So let me put this back because you really don't want to put your back in the front by accident. So I'm going to line this up really quickly. Make sure I get this correct. Okay, so this is the back. And this is the front. Okay, so now you don't need any folds, and make sure that your stretch is going to go this way. Okay, and your grain line is going this way. And when I say grain, I don't mean rice and I don't mean popcorn. I could go for some popcorn. I love popcorn. I went to the movies a couple weeks ago with my husband, and they had this popcorn that was insanely delicious. It was like cheese popcorn and caramel corn, and it was mixed together in the same bucket. Y'all, I died. I took a bite of that popcorn, and I was a little skeptical because I'm like, cheese and caramel, who thinks of that nonsense? Then again, somebody came up with the peanut butter and chocolate, and that's my jam. So I tasted it, and it was insanely delicious. Loved every single bite of it. Ugh. Okay, so if you get a chance to try that at the movies, please do. All right, so now that I have this set, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out, and then I'll be right back. I'm back, and I can never get it together. So I decided to actually redesign the top of the romper as well. So you're kind of gonna get a whole new look, sort of. The way that I did it is first I took the top part of my pattern piece. Here is what it looked like, right? And I decided that I was gonna make a shelf bra because I'm not gonna be able to hide my bra while wearing it. I wanna have just a teensy bit of support. What I did is I measured my underbust, which was 32. And I measured from the top of where the romper is down to my underbust, which was here. So I measured down and I cut that amount off. Then what I did is I took my ruler and I started here and I kind of trimmed it down to make this piece 32 inches across. And I know you're probably thinking, girl, what about the seam allowance? Well, seam allowance is only 3/8 of an inch, and because I'm working with knit, I feel like it's going to be pretty forgiving anyway. So that's what I did with this. And then I cut out 2 pieces of swim fabric, which you'll probably see in the video. And I sewed the swim fabric pieces facing together. And then what I did is I sewed those pieces right sides to the right side of the romper. And then I made sure that I stitched the edge to the inner part of the lining. Because what happens is if you're wearing it out like this, the last thing you want is for it to flip itself inside out. And then you're like, everybody can see my lining, and my lining is not the part that I want people to see. So we want to put that away, okay? So also, I took a couple pieces of interfacing, and you'll see here, right here, some interfacing, and right here, I put interfacing. See? So what I'm going to do is I am going to insert some grommets. One here, well, not from the inside, but one here, and also on the back side, the same. Now, as you can see, I completely omitted the sleeves, and this might be a place where I could put some clear elastic to help this keep its shape, but I feel like because I have both the DPP and the swim, it might actually just keep its shape for me. And it's not a very big piece or area of the fabric, but if you don't want it to lose its shape, I recommend that you put some clear elastic inside the seam, and it will keep its shape nice and curvy, just like me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put these grommets in, and then I'm gonna take the pattern piece that is used for the band across the shoulders, and I'm gonna cut 2 of those, and what I'm gonna do is use them for straps for the top of my romper. I'll be right back. I know you're excited because I'm excited. I don't even know what I'm going to end up with. Yes. Okay, I'm back. And you can see what I did with the grommets here. There you have it. I also did add some elastic. This is 1.5 inch elastic. And because the elastic is pretty soft and squishy, I didn't feel a need to make a casing for it. So I just serged it to edge and flipped it in. And I'm going to go ahead and top stitch that to keep it nice and comfy. But, this smooth side is the side that's going to be to my body. And that's it. Yay! I can't believe I just did that with y'all. I'm super excited to see if you all want to do some flared shorts with your romper, or maybe switch your top out for a top with ties. Who knows? I'm going to show you some pictures of me actually wearing the romper so you can see, you know, I'm not joshing you. It actually does look cute. So I'll put a picture here so you can see what the romper came out like. I hope that you super like it. I love it. I think it's dope. I had a good time making it this week. I hope you had a good time with me. And I hope I'll see you in the next 2 weeks again on another Friday with Nye. Don't forget, between now and then, you better be sewing all the things because we're friends. Yeah. I'll leave some videos at the end of this just in case you want some more of me this week. Bye, friends.